Hello, this is Left Turn Productions, and welcome to the Omaha Duels. So this is going to be the race that decides the starting grid for the Omaha 500, and it'll also determine who will end up actually making the race and who will go home. So this is duel number 1, and once that's over, we're going to do the second duel straight after. Let's get into, instead of your stories, I just want to show off which drivers need to race their way into the race. So you've got Brennan Poole on the number 15. He's starting in the back. He's going to have to race his way in. He has been pretty slow throughout qualifying, so he's really going to have to try and keep up in this race. And then you have Ross Chastain driving for Spire Motorsports. They also need to keep up here in this race. And then you've got an entire group of them right over here, all near each other. Harrison Burton in the 81 for Kyle Busch Motorsports. The 95 of Christopher Bell for Levine Family Racing. And then that's Corey LaJoie for Go Fast Racing, Brett Moffitt for Pacific Racing, and Austin Cindric for Team Penske. And finally, the highest starting of the bunch is the number 51 Caleb Campbell Motorsports entry of Zane Smith, and he will be starting in 8th. So let's get into your starting grid. So row 1 is Brad Keselowski. He knows he's starting on the front row no matter what, unless he crashes out of the race. And Tyler Reddick alongside him. Row 2 is Matt DiBenedetto and Jimmy Johnson. Row 3 is Eric Jones and Ricky Stenhouse. Row 4 is Ryan Blaney and Zane Smith. And row 5 is Chris Buescher and Eric Almirola. Row 6 is Kevin Harvick and Ryan Truex. Row 7 is John Nemechek and Ryan Preece. Row 8 is Austin Cindric and Brett Moffitt. Row 9 is Corey LaJoie and Christopher Bell. And row 10 is Harrison Burton and William Byron. Row 11 is Ryan Sieg and Ross Chastain. Row 12, Justin Allgaier and Kurt Busch. And rounding out the field is Brennan Poole. So there's going to be 5 laps out here today at Omaha here, the big super speedway. Keselowski and Reddick are going to lead them off, and the green flag is in the air. As you can see, the field fly by here. Already you've got Keselowski clear out in the lead with Matt DiBenedetto behind him. Tyler Reddick has Jimmy Johnson behind him, and now the 2 and the 21 are going to clear them. Zane Smith going 3 wide back there. Now Ryan Blaney to the bottom, as we can see some drivers around the cut line here. Christopher Bell, Harrison Burton, Corey LaJoie, I believe that is on the cut line. Burton is just barely in over LaJoie. And then Keselowski, it looks like he's going to lead the first lap, but Tyler Reddick's getting a run on them. Matt DiBenedetto is going to go to the inside, and he might take the lead as Ryan Blaney's in the equation now, and Blaney's going to push his teammate. Coming off the corner, it's a Penske aligned 1, 2, 3, and there goes Keselowski off the bumper of the 21. He's spinning down towards the inside wall, and he's going to hit it. Brad Keselowski gets turned off the bumper of Matt DiBenedetto. Let's see what happened. So here's Brad Keselowski being pushed on the outside by Ryan Blaney, and on the inside is Matt DiBenedetto. Looks like he just comes down in front of DiBenedetto to try to block and was too early making that move. And Keselowski slides, and he does hit the inside wall, but it wasn't very hard. So he might be okay. They might be able to fix that damage and have him get back out there. One more look at it. Yeah, he's on the outside with Blaney, and DiBenedetto's on the inside. Yeah, he just cut down in front of DiBenedetto. Slides through the grass, then onto the pavement. Able to get it righted, but he hits the wall. And again, it looks like they might be able to fix that damage, so he's not out of the race, and he still has a chance to get that pole position. He has to finish ahead of where Cole Custer finishes in his duel in order to get it. So we're going to have a restart on lap number 3, and Keselowski will start at the back of the field. So before we get back to the restart, here are your cutoff drivers. You can see Brennan Poole back here and Corey LaJoie Ross Chastain on the outside there is the first one out. Christopher Bell is the last one in. As you can see, Harrison Burton and Zane Smith and Brett Moffitt up in front of them. And Austin Cindric's a little further ahead. So we're going to have a restart here. Matt DiBenedetto is the leader. He's going to be on the inside. And the green flag is back in the air. 3 laps to go here in this duel as Blaney gets a shove from Chris Buescher, and he might be able to get ahead of DiBenedetto. Matt DiBenedetto wasn't guaranteed a starting spot in this race until qualifying, where he was able to qualify his way in, and now Buescher's going to shove Blaney out to the lead. They're 4 wide here on the backstretch as Eric Jones goes to the bottom. Tyler Reddick has help from Jimmy Johnson. They're coming on the outside for the lead. Meanwhile, here's the cutoff race again. It's getting Ross Chastain, still the first one out, but it's Christopher Bell and Austin Cindric in front of him. Reddick's going to lead that lap, maybe, as Buescher goes to the inside. 3 wide for the lead with 2 to go. Still 3 wide as again we look at the cutoff situation. Ross Chastain, Christopher Bell, and Austin Cindric are 3 wide for getting into the race, and now Cindric is below the cut line. Blaney on the outside, Buescher on the inside, going for the lead, as now Blaney's got a big run coming from Tyler Reddick. Oh, Blaney's going to get turned in front of the field. Caution is out. Harrison Burton and Ross Chastain involved. Those are 2 of the drivers who were not guaranteed a spot. Jimmy Johnson was in it, John Hunter Nemechek, Kevin Harvick, and more. And there is the junked cars that are in between turns 3 and 4. Nemechek, Johnson, Harvick, Blaney, Burton. Ross Chastain's able to get back going, but some damage on the 7 car, and you can see it is all over for Harrison Burton. He will not make the field. He was doing a great job running inside the top 15. And then he just got caught up in this accident, and it looks like Ross Chastain will be able to continue despite whatever damage he sustained in this crash. And speaking of the crash, let's go back and look at it. Here's the replay. Ryan Blaney up on the top side, the second Penske driver to spin from the lead. Keselowski did it earlier in this race. Now Blaney just gets bumper hooked by the 8 car right in front of the field. Good job by Zane Smith to miss it. And all those guys on the bottom. Harvick slams into the side of Blaney along with Johnson, and Harrison Burton had nowhere to go. Ross Chastain gets clipped there. I don't think he had that much damage. He just kind of spun around in the grass. Same for Kurt Busch, actually. I didn't notice he was involved initially. A great job by some of these guys of avoiding this accident. And as you see right here, Ross Chastain was able to get it going. Let's look at it one more time. Again, Blaney on the outside. They're 4 wide behind him. Chris Buescher with a push from Zane Smith. On the bottom, as you can see, Reddick just gets into the back bumper of Blaney, and Blaney just goes right into the middle of the field. William Byron barely missed it. And then it gets the 7 car. Kurt Busch hooks a left right through the grass and slides through it. Unfortunately, John Hunter Nemechek was unable to avoid the crash as he piled in late. So a lot of cars that are going to have to go to backup cars after this wreck, including Blaney and Johnson, as well as Harvick, who were a few of the faster cars. And yeah, we're going to have a restart. We're actually going to be going into overtime in this duel with just 2 laps remaining. Alright, once again, before the restart, we'll show you the cutoff race. LaJoie, you can see right there in the 32, is the last one in. Austin Cindric, Brett Moffitt, Zane Smith are well ahead of these guys. Brennan Poole is the first one out. Ross Chastain the second one out. And of course, Harrison Burton is out of the race and will not be able to make the show. So the bottom 2 of these guys that finish are not going to make it into the 500. But meanwhile, on the front row, it's Chris Buescher and Zane Smith. A go-or-go-home driver has never won a duel, and Smith looking to do that here. 2 laps to go. Buescher has a push from Reddick going into turn 1. William Byron behind Zane Smith. Byron started near the back of the field. Brett Moffitt, you could see him in 5th place with his teammate Ryan Truex above him in 6th. They're still side by side. Now Buescher's starting to get an advantage down the backstretch. Moffitt to the bottom. And here's the cutoff race again. Chastain has passed Boole, but he's going to have to pass LaJoie. But Christopher Bell is back here too. He's also a go-home driver. He might be in danger of missing the race as well. Buescher around. He goes up to try and block the 92, and now they're 3 wide for the lead. Byron trying to make it 4 wide back there as he's got the JTG Doherty cars behind him. White flag in the air. Reddick in the lead with a push from Austin Cindric and Brad Keselowski, the Penske cars. As you can see in the back there, Corey LaJoie and Christopher Bell is barely in, just above Corey LaJoie. LaJoie has to pass Bell. Oh, we got trouble in turn 2. Stenhouse gets hooked. Allgaier involved. Ryan Truex into the wall. Will there be a caution? It doesn't appear that there will be. They're going to race back to the line. And now they're 3 wide for the lead. Jones on the outside. Cindric in the middle. Reddick down low. Who's going to get the win? Coming out of turn 4. Still 3 wide coming out of the corner. Reddick has the edge. Cindric is loose. He goes spinning. And it's going to be Eric Jones at the line as they crash across the start-finish line. DiBenedetto into the wall. Several other drivers involved in this mayhem coming across the line, including Austin Cindric. For the second Omaha Duels in a row, Cindric wrecks on the last lap, but this time he's able to finish. He will probably have to go to a backup car, though. Here's the replay of that final lap. You can see Reddick in the lead, Buescher falling through the middle. Those 2 Penske cars, Cindric and Keselowski, give Reddick a big shove there. Keselowski spun out from the lead earlier in this race, and he's able to rebound. And there you can see Christopher Bell and Corey LaJoie racing for the final transfer spot. We're going to have to see who got that final transfer spot. I think it was Bell. But meanwhile, right here, it looks like another bumper hook from for the 47 there of Ricky Stenhouse. That almost got Christopher Bell. But instead, Stenhouse comes down and gets Ryan Truex. Truex head on into the wall. Thank goodness for safer barriers. And it also collects Justin Allgaier in the 53. And now they're 3 wide for the lead. I'm not sure how they got like that. We can see Moffitt giving Jones a big push on the outside. And they're just 3 by 3 all throughout the pack. Just trying to get every position that they can. And it looks like Cindric lost it off the corner. And he starts to spin out. That stalled the momentum from Reddick. And that allowed Jones to get by on the outside. Cindric comes up and clips Brett Moffitt, who I think still gets a top 5 out of this. So Moffitt is in. Chastain is in. Cindric is in. Zane Smith made it in. And I believe, Christopher Bell will get that final transfer spot. So Corey LaJoie is going to miss the field along with Brennan Poole and Harrison Burton. DiBenedetto, you see him, he had a pretty hard hit into the inside wall. And when Cindric came up the track, he collected Preece and Byron as well. One more look at that finish. It looks like Cindric might have had contact with Keselowski a little bit. I don't know. It was clear that he was loose off the corner, but I think he had some help there as Cindric came up, collected Preece and Byron, got the 92 car. Fortunately for Moffitt, it looks like he wasn't able to hit anything, so he won't have to go to a backup. These other guys involved in the wreck probably will, as their cars are destroyed, especially DiBenedetto and who impacted the inside wall pretty heavily. Okay, so here are the results for the Parrot Perch Omaha Duel number 1. Eric Jones wins the race. It says Flambeau Camaro in the 8, but that is Tyler Reddick, who is finished second. A bit of an error on my part there. Brad Keselowski finishing third. Kurt Busch fourth. Brett Moffitt 5th, Ross Chastain 6th, Chris Buescher 7th, and then Austin Cindric, Zane Smith, Ryan Preece, William Byron, Eric Almirola, Ryan Sieg, Christopher Bell is the final driver to get a transfer spot. And Corey LaJoie with the 15th place finish, it wasn't enough. He was one spot short. Then you have Matt DiBenedetto, Brennan Poole, who also missed the field, Ryan Truex, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Justin Allgaier, all these guys weren't able to finish the race. Then the guys caught up in that crash on lap 4. Ryan Blaney, Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, Harrison Burton, and John Hunter Nemechek. So we're going to line them up again for the second duel to decide once and for all the starting grid for the Omaha 500. All right, I will point out the go or go home drivers as we go through the starting grid here for duel number 2. So row 1 is Cole Custer and Martin Truex Jr. Row 2 is Chase Elliott and Michael McDowell. Row 3 is Kyle Busch and Jeb Burton. Row 4, Tyler Ankrum, and Joey Logano is the first go or go home driver. That sounded really weird, having Joey Logano not locked into the field. In row 5 is Justin Haley and Ryan Newman. Row 6 is Daniel Suarez and Matt Kenseth. Row 7 is Denny Hamlin, who also is not locked in the field. He'll have to race in, as well as Alex Bowman. Row 8 is Clint Bowyer and Bubba Wallace. Row 9 is David Reagan and the 96 of Austin Terrio, another go or go homer. And in row 10, you have 2 more go or go homers, Ty Dillon and Brandon Jones. Row 11, you have Austin Dillon. And these last 3 are all go or go home drivers. Chase Briscoe alongside Austin Dillon. And in the back row, it's Myatt Snyder and Quinn Huff. Again, 5 laps, just like the previous one. Custer is going to lead them off. And if he finishes higher than 3rd, then he will get the pole away from Keselowski. Green flag is in the air. As they roll off. Quinn Huff's a little bit slow on the start. Might be a problem with his car. And now Cole Custer trying to clear Martin Truex Jr., and he will clear Martin Truex Jr. as they're already going 3 wide with Michael McDowell and Jeb Burton there. They don't have anything to lose as McDowell got a good run, but isn't able to get by Cole Custer. And they're 3 wide behind. Burton's getting shuffled out. You've got the 2 Toyotas on the top, Truex and Kyle Busch. And coming off the corner, it's going to be Cole Custer leading the first lap. And now you've got a couple of Chevys, a couple of Hendrick engines teamed up there, as we can see the cut line there. It is between Brandon Jones and Chase Briscoe right now, with Ty Dillon also above the cut line there, but he's getting really close to it. Now Brandon Jones will fall out. Jeb Burton has pushed Chase Elliott to the lead and is trying to take over second for himself. McDowell to the outside, and he will take over second. Jeb Burton. As Chase Elliott has the lead, Michael McDowell's getting shuffled out now as they're 3 wide behind. But it's still Chase Elliott, another driver who qualified his way in, just like DiBenedetto in the last duel. And another driver like that is Tyler Ankrum, who you can see just on the edge of your screen there, as Cole Custer has a big run with 3 to go in the duel, and now he's alongside Chase Elliott, and he also broke up that Hendrick engine brigade that Elliott and Burton had. Burton is behind Custer, so they're still side by side for the lead, but Elliott will pull out ahead thanks to help from Matt Kenseth in the 42. As they now pull out ahead, as we got 3 Joe Gibbs Racing cars on the top. Truex and Kyle Busch found Denny Hamlin, and they've got a run on the back. Truex to the lead with help from his teammates. And now he goes out in front as Chase Elliott gets shuffled out. Oh, Brandon Jones is going to go around and into the outside wall. Caution is out, and it's all over for the 45 team that's partially owned by James Johnson. And that will be it for Brandon Jones. He is not going to be able to make it into the Omaha 500. Let's see what happened to him. He was at the very back of the field with Parker Kligerman. They were the first and second drivers out of the cut line. As you can barely see the back end of Myatt Snyder up ahead of them. Snyder was the driver that they had to pass. They also had Quinn Huff behind them. So it looks like Jones was trying to go up around the 40 of David Reagan, but misjudged it in front of Terrio, and he goes up into the outside wall, starts spinning around. You see Huff going by there. He got away without getting involved in this. And you can see him slide down into turn number 3. So Brandon Jones out of the race. Let's look at it one more time. Yeah, it looked like he was going to try to pass the 40 car. Came across the nose of the 96 and nosed it into the outside wall. So the tax-sacked Ford will be the first car out of the race here, and Brandon Jones will not make it into the Omaha 500. So let's have a restart here on, I believe, lap number 4. Alright, before we restart, let's once again look at the cut line. Brandon Jones is out of the race, so there's 2 drivers right here that could miss the field. And those 2 drivers are the 96 of Austin Terrio, you can see back there, and the 00 of Quinn Huff. Myatt Snyder is the first one in. As you can see, some other drivers like Chase Briscoe, who's made his way up nicely through the field. Ty Dillon's up there, Joey Logano's up there, and Denny Hamlin is fighting for the win. He could win this thing, or at least get a really good result here. So there he is, pushing his teammate, and he's got another teammate behind him. Martin Truex Jr. and Matt Kenseth gonna lead them off to the restart with just 2 laps remaining. Daniel Suarez ducks down to the inside to make it 4 Toyotas on the bottom. Chase Elliott looking to the high side of Kenseth, who did not get a good restart at all. Elliott's got his teammate Alex Bowman to push. As you can see, the 3 wide battles happening there. You can see some go or go home drivers like Ty Dillon and Joey Logano in the mix there, as we still got the 4 Toyotas out front, but Cole Custer's getting a push from Michael McDowell. As we look at our cutoff drivers, Quinn Huff is falling behind. Austin Terrio there trying to catch the 31 or the 33 up ahead of them. Truex, it's Denny Hamlin going to the outside. There's 1 lap to go. And they're 3 wide for the lead as they're crashing behind them. Tyler Ankrum around. Austin Dillon. Ryan Newman, and Newman's hard into the outside wall. Will there be a caution? Bubba Wallace also involved. No yellow, and they're wrecking again. Cole Custer's upside down on the back straightaway. And now they're going to have to throw the caution. Chase Elliott. Oh, and they got Terrio there at the end. I saw Suarez involved as well, and that will end the race. And Denny Hamlin was the leader. And it will be Hamlin leading a JGR 1-2-3 in the second duel. The first go or go home driver to win a duel in the entirety of the Omaha 500. You can see the rest of the field go by. Got one more straggler there, the 40 car. So let's take a look at what happened in that crazy final lap. So this is coming to the white flag here. Denny Hamlin was in line with those guys, with the 19 and the 18 and the 62, but he went up to the high side because Cole Custer had a run, and then Custer tried to get by him, and then they were 3 wide, and here's the first wreck right here. You can see in the back here, Tyler Ankrum and Austin Dillon. It looks like Ankrum just got hooked. Came up into Bubba Wallace, nowhere he could go, nowhere for Ryan Newman to go as he just gets collected and he goes hard into the outside wall. Thankfully, the car does not go over like it did in the 2020 Daytona 500. And then, as soon as we cut back, Hamlin's in the lead, but they're wrecking again. Bowman gets into the back of his teammate Elliott, gets Suarez involved, and just taps Cole Custer and sends him over on his roof. And the car on the roof, they had to throw the caution for that. As you can see, all these guys able to get through. Look at Justin Haley threading the needle, but unfortunately the 96 of Austin Terrio was unable to. We know he will not make it into the race, and it's unlikely that Quinn Huff will. So I think by that, it looks like we figured out who's going to be in the Omaha 500. And how about this? Joe Gibbs Racing 1, 2, 3. Joe Gibbs Racing also won the first duel since Eric Jones won that, so nobody was able to beat any of the Joe Gibbs Racing cars in the duels. Yeah, not a single driver was able to beat a JGR car. Maybe that could be maybe foreshadowing to what could happen in the Omaha 500, as now all four of them are going to start up near the front. So that'll be interesting there to see what they'll be able to do. So let's look at your finishing results and your starting grid for the Omaha 500. So here is your results for duel number 1. Denny Hamlin gets the win. Kyle Busch second. Martin Truex Jr. third. Again, a JGR 1, 2, 3. And again, JGR also won the first duel with Eric Jones. Alex Bowman with a nice fourth place finish. Joey Logano fifth. The second of the go or go home drivers since Denny Hamlin was also one. Michael McDowell sixth. Jeb Burton seventh. Clint Boyer eighth. Ty Dillon, Chase Briscoe, a couple of go or go home cars, get top 10 runs. Myatt Snyder, I think, was the last one in with an 11th place finish. Then you have Justin Haley, Matt Kenseth, Daniel Suarez. Kenseth and Suarez got a bit of damage on that crash on the backstretch, but they should not have to go to a backup car. And then there's Quinn Huff and David Reagan, the last two to finish the race. Reagan was involved in the turn 1 incident with Ankrum, Wallace, and Newman, as well as others there. Cole Custer, 17th, which means that Brad Keselowski will, in fact, get the pole for the Omaha 500. And Cole Custer won't even be able to start second since, he was upside down. He's going to have to go to a backup car. Chase Elliott, 18th. Austin Terrio misses the field in 19th. Tyler Ankrum, the Cinderella story for them, takes a bit of an abrupt halt, but they're in the race, so it's not that much of a big deal for them. Bubba Wallace, 21st. Austin Dillon, 22nd. Ryan Newman, 23rd. Brandon Jones rounding out the field here. So there's Denny Hamlin in victory lane. I forgot to show it for Eric Jones. And here is your official starting lineup for the Omaha 500. Brad Keselowski and Eric Jones will start on the front row since Cole Custer had to start at the back due to a backup car. And you can see all the drivers here. I'm not going to list all of them, but I will show you all of them. And you can see where your favorite driver is in this list. As you can see, the Caleb Campbell Motorsports cars, all three of them have decent starting spots. So yeah, still not quite to the bottom there. There are 43 cars that will be in this race, which will be a record for this channel. As you can see, we're almost at the bottom here. And there you go, ending it off there with the 38 of John Hunter Nemechek. And then let's pay respect, I guess, to the 6 drivers that were unable to make it into the field. Corey LaJoie, Quinn Huff, Brennan Poole, Austin Terrio, Harrison Burton, probably the most surprising of the bunch. He was the one with the most speed out of everybody, I feel like. And also the 45 of Brandon Jones. So that will do it here for the Omaha Duels. Tune in next time where we run the LTPSS race at Omaha, and then the Omaha 500, the big race. So thank you guys for watching. This is Left Turn Productions, signing out.